Welcome to Call Your Hits, a Storm Riders Airsoft podcast.
Hi, everyone.
Thanks for joining us. So today we are going to do something a little bit different, something a little bit casual. Apologies to our audio only listeners. Today we're going to do a bit more of a visual episode. It's something we do every now and then. We're going to do our best to describe. We're going to be showing some pictures and we're going to do our best to describe the picture. But fundamentally, today is going to be about Pat and I having conversations of old pictures of us, primarily him, but also a little bit the two of us. And this is not an effort to get Pat or anything like that, but we've been playing Airsoft a really long time. And there are some pictures that exist of us, for good or ill, that are very old. And we've also had the benefit of, me being a photographer and then Jason Fong being a photographer and just having pictures of us taken frequently over the years. And so it provides an interesting sort of tapestry, I guess, montage of different kits and different places we were in. So I thought it would be a good idea to throw some stuff at Pat and get as well as gut reaction, because some of these pictures I am very certain that Pat has not seen maybe at all, or he doesn't even remember this picture exists.
And like any getting Pat is consensual anyway, right? Like,
yes, well, I suppose.
If you can't laugh at your past self, you're not doing it right.
Yeah, I think it was Galen in the Discord who said one time, cringe is inherently client side, right? Like you feel it, but I mean, it doesn't exist in the real world. Totally. So, and that's really not the purpose anyway. I think there's so much interesting context that goes back to as well, like our mindset at the time versus perhaps, where we've come from. So I'm going to throw some stuff up on the screen. We're going to have a conversation. We'll describe it and have a conversation about it. So
our descriptions will not be AI descriptions. So you'll get the better quality, I hope.
Yeah, we'll do our best. So here's the first picture. This is a picture of Pat circa 2014. Actually, it says right at the top here what it is. It's August 3rd, 2014. So he's wearing his multicam combat gear. He's got his old, it's like an M16, but it has like a RIS rail. He's got a grenade launcher. It's not mounted all the way to the front. It's just open.
Yep.
Initially, I was like, why is it mounted so far forward? But I realized it's because you had it open. And in his hand, he's holding one of his 203 shells, and he appears to be kissing the grenade shell. So, Pat, take it away. Like, what's
Cringe
your gut
is inherently
reaction?
client side, folks.
Are you cringing inside?
So like the kit I like still. The kissing the grenade is a bit terrible, but whatevs. So yeah, rocking my my multicam. I still actually have all of that. None of it fits except the boonie because I'm fat. But whatever. I don't have the chest rig. That's the 6094 that I should have sold like way before this. Although funnily enough, I think that is the summer I sold it.
Really? I thought, no, you definitely sold it later than that, I think, because I didn't get mine until a little bit later. I think I got my 6094. Maybe it's my JPC and I'm getting them confused. Anyway, yeah.
So I know that I got the Tactical Tailor chest rig while I was still wearing that camo. So like within a year of this photo anyway. That I'm sure of. I have love it. I'm just realizing the hand mic for my radio had broken off the clip, the holder, so it's just free dangling there because I ran it like that for a while. And
right next to it, you've got the old M-Biter radio that we used to have. That ginormous radio pouch, because why would we carry a radio that was that big and garbage as well? As it would happen.
I think the outcome where like we got the Baofangs and they were several times better was the like, oh, okay, I think that was an eye opener for both of us in terms of that like looking cool versus actually working piece.
Yeah, legit though, right?
So the replica is a classic army. That is the like middle and back of a classic army M16, and then the front barrel and rails are an M4.
Hmm.
So at some point after this, I also switched that to a crane stock. I remember.
It was a while, I think, because I have another picture later
Oh
on.
yeah, I ran it. I definitely ran it like that
Yeah.
for a while, and like I still actually really like the look of that gun. Like I think it looked better with the collapsible stock, but like the full length M16 stock is completely fine for me. I like
Yeah, for sure. A
as
bigger
we've
guy.
already joked, like always joked. I'm I have long noodly orangutan arms, so like it's completely good. I'm back to running a 203. I think the
Yes.
which is fun. I think the new grenades are like several times better than those were. Although that is a CO2 grenade, so like it got some distance and had some bite to it.
Yeah. But the convenience of those Ace Hive shells that we have
Oh
now
man,
are
yeah,
just like
yeah,
night and day. I picked this one
absolutely.
first because,
I mean, like
you know,
I don't have to fix the Ace Hive shells every time I shoot them either, which was a real problem with the
yes, I
CO2 grenades.
suppose
Like the
that's
CO2 grenades were like, all right, I got 2 shots of this per day of play because afterwards I probably have to fix all the seals again.
yeah.
um,
High pressure will do that though. There's a huge benefit to running lower pressure shells, not least of which that the maintenance is lower, but also it's easier, right? You
yep,
don't need like
and
a regulator and all this kind of stuff,
like the
right?
distance we're getting on the archive ones, like canted up, is fantastic. I'm really I'm much happier with them than I was with
And for
those.
frontline, it's just
But
perfect, right?
like
Like,
yeah, and in fairness, when we were playing at Redcliffe, the extra range actually might have been a little bit useful.
mm,
Um, so yeah. I mean, like my biggest memory of this kit is like I like a lot of pieces of it. I'm super glad to have replaced the radio and the awful broken handpiece.
yeah,
And like in retrospect, like I'm sitting here going, like that grenade shell cost more than the headset, handset, and radio that I'm currently using. Like
yeah,
um
crazy,
per
right?
grenade. So yeah, to learn from past Pat and don't make those life choices. But like I still have that Shima. I still have those ESS goggles. I don't use them anymore since I got LASIK, but like
Hmm.
the ESS land ops that were designed for people who have glasses, like they chef's kiss, they were fantastic. They did everything I needed them to for ages.
And I
And
bet you still have somewhere some of those original mags too. Like those mags that are like 11
uh,
years old are still
probably, yeah,
probably
yeah.
kicking somewhere.
I
Yeah.
have I have like a sack of mags I don't use anymore, and they're probably in it. I would be surprised if it were otherwise.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I'm still like you can see dead center just behind the ACOG. I'm running the same collapsible mag pouch that's still on the front of my vest
Yeah.
because it just works great. Like that particular piece of my kit's fantastic. Yeah. Um, this is also definitely the me trying to like build the generation kill M4.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's
The Iceman.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Iceman.
definitely the
That's
LARP
the
in
vibe.
question.
Yeah.
And
All
in
right.
fairness, I still think that's one of like the cooler looking airsoft replicas.
Yeah, I would agree. And it'll make a comeback later on for sure. Um,
It will return.
so let's look at picture number 2, shall we?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh man, my first airsoft game.
Yes,
That's
this
sick.
is your very first airsoft game. And if you want to talk about cringe being client side, there is a lot for me in this picture. Like, woof.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
So I'll
Um,
start because
sure. Hit her.
like let's there's a lot to address here. So this is a picture of Patrick and myself at Patrick's first airsoft game. This is in 2008 by the looks of
Man.
the tag here. Um, and so Pat is using my very old and shitty L96
Yeah, and
bolt
at
action
that point, without any upgrades, I think.
without any
Like
upgrades. Not that the upgrades that we did to it made any difference, but that's beside the
fair.
point. And then I'm
He
wearing
did bad
like
things to that gun,
multicam.
but not in a good way.
Yeah, really. I'm wearing multicam trousers, and I've got a black commando sweater, so like a wool sweater. And then I've
Which,
got
in
this
fairness, is
side.
super comfy here for airsoft. Like three
Yes,
quarters of the year.
agree. And I mean, I wore that sweater just generally, like totally fine piece of article of clothing. So I have the black commando sweater, and over that I have a Cyraz that is so loosely fitted it might as well be a belt kit.
You're also
Um,
running 6 double M4 mag pouches.
Correct. No. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mags on my front. And then a pouch on the side, which I believe had some sort of like just garbage radio, maybe my not my inhaler, because my inhaler would be in my front pouch here. It has a very awful morale patch that I'm glad that my hand is covering, because I thought at the time that it was so cool and it's so offensive. Like there's no reason for anyone to be wearing that. And then on my head, I am wearing some sort of like tube wrap, which we would call now like a buff, basically, and a Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter branded Garrison style cap. So there's a lot that if I could take this picture back, I certainly would. But I'm going to share it, and you guys can see it.
It's definitely a product of when it was taken.
Yeah, it is a choice. Like I mean, this is 2008, so at this point, I've already gone through multiple iterations of kit. Like I had done a full CatPad kit, I'd done a full multicam kit, and then the Cyraz was from that multicam kit, and so were the trousers, and I just rotated into this like what at the time would have been like a PMC mercenary kit. In this picture, I'm also using the G&G Scar, which was my like third airsoft replica. And it's got like a Surefire foregrip with a flashlight on it, and like I thought I was like the bee's knees or what have you. But this is an old.
Meanwhile,
old
I'm wearing, and it's funny because like, you know, I could wear some of the articles of clothing in this to an airsoft game like last weekend. I didn't, but I could have.
Yeah.
You know, so I've got a pair of gray cargos on. I appear to be wearing a drop leg, which I suspect is your like little shorty 1911. A olive drab like field jacket, not a military one, just like a, you know, going for a walk one. Mm-hmm. A fleece scarf, which I'm pretty sure was there just to like keep my teeth in my face.
Yeah, like a Wu-Tang says, you got to protect your neck, right?
Yeah, exactly right. A CadPat ball cap that's definitely borrowed from you based on how it fits.
Absolutely.
And the fact that I've never owned one.
And you're wearing it backwards, yeah.
I'm wearing it backwards specifically because that optic was terrible. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't have it on my face and actually get like down on the optic enough to get a sight picture. But yeah, this is people who've listened a bunch before. My like biggest memory from this day of playing airsoft was at one point you gave me the Scar and a couple of mags and like left me to suppress someone while you flanked them, and I didn't know how to reload the Scar. Like I didn't know what button released the mag. So yeah, that's a very long time ago, but like also a really good memory. Like that was a really good day. I had a lot of fun. And you know, Phil has a lengthy history of getting me into hobbies where he gets to hit and or shoot me with things.
That's true. That's true.
Like, all to the good, all to my good.
Yeah. So this was a good memory when I was looking through pictures, and like Pat was saying, like there's, you know, this is the start of where we are today. Really, there's it just shows sort of how much you grow when you also have people there to push you and think about things differently, and to, because I mean I wore this kit, but I mean Pat emulated this kit for a while, but then we started doing different things, and like I'm glad that we're through this particular phase.
I built like exactly that kit, right? I had exactly that rifle. I didn't have the flashlight, but I had exactly that vest. You've got a Serpa drop leg with a like really crappy USP on it, and I had an equally crappy USB, and then both of them stopped working, and we hybridized them together into two separate like parts of mine and parts of yours, and they miraculously worked for another like 6 months.
That was the weirdest thing, but that's airsoft for you.
Jank.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, but like such good times, man.
Let's look at this next one.
Oh man, that is like not everybody.
Yesterday. Yeah. So this is a picture
one of the biggest versions of our team.
Yeah, so this is a picture of us in 2000 and I'm going to say 2013 or 2014, when we were sponsored by BB Bastard, who at the time were the premier airsoft BB provider in Canada for airsoft in Canada.
Yeah.
They, you know, if you were using anything else, you were just foolish. You didn't know better. That's sort of the vibe of BB Bastard at the time. They were
really like the only good quality airsoft BBs you could get in Canada at the time.
and they've since tried to replicate them and stuff like that, but it's just trying to capture lightning in a bottle. I think part of it too is fundamentally the quality of VBs today is quite good in general. Like if you're buying from a reputable brand, and so
Yeah, I
we
agree.
have it's disproportionate like a memory of how good they were just by virtue of the fact that everything else was so bad. They seemed so much better,
Oh yeah, I
right?
mean, like they worked great, and everything else we had access to was hot garbage. And I think
Yeah.
like genuinely, the stuff we're using now is probably very comparable.
So
Um,
in the context of this sponsorship, they provided less like a discount on like group orders and all this kind of stuff. And then they gave us patches, which we're all wearing. And we went out and we did like a whole team photo shoot from that day. And in this picture, some of these people still play, but many of them do not. One of them is not on the team. He left the team, and then the others, some of them are just MIA or they've moved to different provinces. So this is really like a snapshot in time as to like what we were as a team in this. I do think it's 2013 if I'm
yeah,
very
that
not
sounds right.
mistaken. Yeah,
Um,
2013. So we were, you know, dressed to the nines. Like this is like our best possible kit. Everyone had multicam. I'm pretty sure in this picture.
yep.
Different types of multicam, as you can see, none of it genuine because
Yeah. Oh, lots of colors of multicam, all of it repro, all of it washed various amounts of times.
yeah,
Yeah. I still wearing that. This is exactly the same loadout, or very close to the same loadout from that first photo. I've got
yeah.
an
Except you've got an EOTech on your
yeah,
on your
which I remember
replica
switching
instead
to
of a
because that ACOG was, as probably all of them I've ever encountered for airsoft was hot garbage. Like
Mhm.
it was completely ineffective. And when we started playing a lot more at frontline, which we had by the time we took this, definitely, I was using a red dot because it was much closer in than Redcliffe.
Yeah,
I'm still pretty happy with the solution I have now, but like probably at least half of that is the fact that when I want to, I can turn it to a like 1x mag, which is
yeah, exactly.
perfectly
And
functional.
I'm using this like little tiny GNP Veltor
Oh yeah, so you are.
with like super short barrel with my. This was I was just discovering the Trigicon SRS repro sights, and I loved them because the sight picture was so big and like all this kind of
I mean,
stuff.
they work really well. Like,
Yeah, and that Veltor worked well for a long time until we started trying to upgrade it, and then it was just like a pain because GNP and like all the other form factor like King Arms just did not
yeah,
play
it's
along, right? And it was
GNP
just a
and the
sec.
classic army that I'm carrying directly behind you. They both have that
Mhm.
like these do not play well with others. Good God,
Yeah, it was a
um,
real saga.
problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, wicked.
And behind us in this picture is this like brand spanking new, basically plywood structure, which is called the new two story. Even though we call it new two story, even though it's like
10 years.
12 years old essentially. And in this picture, it would have had a second story, a second floor with stairs to access, which it currently does not because it's just
Wildly
it's field
unsafe.
maintenance, etc.
Yeah.
But it was brand new at the time. Like you can see the plywood looks
Oh
like
yeah,
new
it's
with
one of
some
those
paint
like
splatter, right?
it's one of those funny things like looking at it being like, oh yeah, I saw that this weekend, and it is not that nice anymore.
Yeah. And but yeah, so this was us
It's
in
one of
in
the many
2013.
buildings there where I feel like I could easily Kool-Aid Man through the walls if I wanted to.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely right. All right. So this next picture that I have, this
Yes.
this is a picture from 2000 and I think it's 2010. And so in this picture, it's myself, Pat on the right, Cal on the left, John right behind me, and we're all wearing like these ridiculous hats.
I have a giant
Um,
red and white checkered cat in the hat on.
yeah, I have a giant plush shark that looks like it's eating my head. Cal is wearing some sort of like weird safari hat, and Johnny is wearing some sort of like frog toque with pom poms. And I think we just decided to wear funny hats for a day of airsoft. Like,
Yeah,
was that
yeah,
the
it was
vibe
pretty
there?
much literally just like, let's wear silly hats to airsoft. Okay. And we did. Yeah. So this is me rocking pretty much exactly the kit you were rocking in that on my first day of airsoft.
Hmm.
Except I've changed out. This is after I got rid of the Scar. I've changed out for the full length M16.
Yeah.
So I've got, yeah. Also, we figured out that you don't need to carry 30 mags because I appear to be down to 6.
Yeah, and
Um,
this is like in the immediately post Magpul Dynamics days. So like there are no mags on my left side. They're all on my right side because I'm never going to need to reach over and grab a mag to do a reload. I'm keeping my right side workspace clear if I need to draw my sidearm, etc., which is sort of the same sort of vibe you have going on. You don't have any mags
yep.
on your left side either.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
all right side dominant,
So
right? Like
I'm rocking the classic Army M16 because at this point you and I were both sort of doing like the long barrel functionally, like a little under FPS for a modern field, but DMR
yeah,
kind of
exactly right.
role. I know I remember I bought the M16 because one of the set screws on the G&G Scar wouldn't, like, it had been glued in, and I just couldn't upgrade it. So I was like, well,
Mhm.
I need something else. And I really did enjoy the hell out of that rifle. Like, that replica was fantastic.
I also
Um,
want to call attention to the telephone that I'm wearing on my
yeah,
chest.
yeah. I
I wore that I used that for years, and like it was I mean, it was shitty, but it was also cool. Like it made me feel very cool. It wasn't very good because adjusting the volume wasn't really so much a thing because of how the wires were. Like if you reduce the volume on your radio, it didn't really transmit to the handset, so you couldn't really hear anything. So it either had to be like all the way up or just off, which not super helpful. And it made like sneaking around basically impossible if your friends were going to call you at
Yep.
any random moment to give you info, right?
Yep. But we're also still clearly on the embiters, so like it's one of those things where I feel like maybe if we'd been using a radio that wasn't trash, it would have had a better like functionality in that way.
Yeah, potentially.
Um,
Yeah.
it's also like completely redundant for basically every airsoft related application, but is remains aesthetically cool as hell.
Yeah. Agree.
Like, it's just a really rocking piece of kit in terms of looking badass and feeling badass. Like, which, let's be real, we're all at
That's the
least
whole
somewhat
point.
larping, right?
Yeah.
Like,
And at this point,
um,
John wasn't on the Storm Riders because we were still very much focused on like, hey, you want to be on the team, you got to use an M4 stand ag kind of situation. He was very much still in the World War II
yeah, yeah,
aspect.
he's,
So we were friends with John, but he just wasn't on the team. And there's a few people over the years that we used to play with a fair amount that just weren't on the team. And eventually we would get around to inviting them, be like, hey, you should probably be on the team now because we
yep.
play all the time and we
Um,
match vibes,
also,
etc.
I also know from John that loadout he's wearing is farb as hell.
Yes.
It's
Well, and I
so
mean
bad.
it's mostly hidden, which is good because he would not
Yeah,
mind.
he would be sad.
Yeah.
um,
The frog toque aside, right?
oh yeah,
Like the
like,
whole rest of it is just
yep.
yeah.
Um, I think also Karoo is rocking Cal's rocking the another of the G&G scares. That's the point at which we had like, or
Three
just
of them.
after we had 3 of them. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly right.
Um, you
I've
know,
got another picture here, which is sort of in the same era. So again, the G&G Scar. Pat, you're using the M16 you were just talking about with the EOTech. So this, I think this is that's very shortly preceding the one that we just saw. So I think this is 2000 or maybe just after. So I think this is like 2010.
I just realized
Um,
that Cal also has the phone in this one.
Yes. Yeah. So I think the two of us had the phone at some point, and he gave his up way before I gave mine up. I don't know if you used it, but this
This is
is on.
also before I broke the clip on my radio.
Yeah. So I think this is like 2010 or something like that because I visually can see that I'm also pretty lean in this photo, and that probably was when I was at my leanest was around 2010 2011. This particular day we were doing a training day at Redcliffe in the parking lot area
Yep.
by the long path. I don't know if you remember this
Yeah,
day in
yeah.
particular. I remember vividly
We were doing a lot
because
of like kneeling and prone shooting stuff.
why
And
do you think I remember this day vividly?
I don't remember. Like, if
Because I wore that short t-shirt the entire time, and when I got home I had a massive sunburn.
yeah,
It lasted all summer I had this like huge farmer's tan basically because my arms were just lobsters because I didn't wear any sunscreen because you're an idiot. But and I mean I still don't wear sunscreen a lot, but kids you should wear sunscreen. But I was particularly bad. We were out there for at least 4 hours, 3 or 4 hours, and just
That was a hot
no
day
cover,
too.
nothing, full sun.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so this is when like this is sort of the height of the Magpul dynamic style training for us, where we were doing shooting like moving, kneeling, prone, reaction shooting, like up drills, like all this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
just over and reload
A
drills
ton
till
in
the
that
cows came
a
home,
ton
like
in
all
that
of it.
field you can see directly behind us. Like,
Yeah. I don't know how many BBs would be in the woods in that particular area, but we conservatively shot like tens of thousands of BBs like every single year into that area. But
many.
yeah. And like, look at how serious Cal looks in this picture, and you guys look. I'm there smiling, like I'm having a great time, and both of you are like, "What's going on?"
Attempting to look like badasses.
Yeah, clearly.
Not successfully.
So this next one, I think, is one of my favorite pictures of you.
Yeah.
This is from Op Stranglehold, which is an op that Frontline held in 2013, as you can see by the watermark on the picture. This is a picture of Pat at during Airsoft in the winter. Stranglehold was in, I'm going to say March or April, something like that. And so
very end of the winter here.
Yeah, like, very end of the winter. He's wearing like a toque. He's wearing a black like hard shell basically, or soft shell, not a hard shell, soft shell. Plate carrier, and he's got the old M16 with the EOTech, and he's got a bandage on his nose.
Yeah, I still have the scar from that on my nose. So during that op, I was in the top of the new 2-story, and CO2. I can't remember. It's Raging Bull. CO2 revolvers that shot like 480 FPS. Like they're ludicrous. And like a 12-year-old shot me in the nose from like 8 feet away, like just standing at the base of the building, like pointed up. And you can see the blood from me wiping like frozen blood off my nose on the glove.
Oh yeah,
there.
right on your gloves. Look at that. Trigger warning if you don't like blood, but yeah.
Yeah, sorry. That's it's all mine anyway. So that was a wicked day. Like really good games, really good operation, and I have permanent leftovers.
There's two things that stand out to me. One is at that time we really weren't using face protection.
Yep.
Like lower mesh masks, like were basically, it's not unheard of. We were just like, we would tell you, hey, you know what? I don't care. But if that shot had been like an inch and a half lower, Pat would have lost teeth.
Oh man, if that shot had been an inch and a half lower, it would have blown like
easy
between 1 and 4 of my front teeth out of my face, and I definitely did not have insurance. So like,
oh my god. Right.
10 out of
so that's
10
one thing I think about when I see this picture.
Ooh.
The other thing is, I'm pretty sure, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, this is the op that you and I both wore our like Black Hawk Desert combat boots to play the entire day.
Yes, it's also a miracle that we have toes.
Our feet basically fell off, right?
Yeah, that's on the like bad decisions I've made playing Airsoft list. Wearing desert boots in Newfoundland in April in the middle of the winter is definitely one of the stupidest things I've done.
Yeah, and both of us did that, and there's just no reason to do that, right?
Like we both owned civilian winter boots that would have been a better grip, more comfortable. Like there's zero reason to do that other than that we're like, these are my Airsoft boots. So like, a bad day in terms of physical maintenance stuff. But a fun day, obviously, like you can tell by the grin. Very, very memorable for me because that, like, I saw red. Like, if I had been on the ground floor, I would have yeeted that kid.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Donkey Kong.
But
so like, funny. Yeah, really, a very chilly day. Like, I'm pretty sure that, like, when we were taking the photos at the end, you and I were both like, okay, guys, we need to get these done because we are dying.
Yeah, absolutely. But still had a smile on your face. And, like, I love these pictures of you at airsoft where you're smiling or where I'm smiling, because it just also reinforces the idea that, you know what, like, this is supposed to be fun. We're having fun.
Yeah, I mean, I
You
think,
know, like, there are pictures where we're not smiling, but this is not one of them,
yeah,
right?
I think that like we wouldn't have kept doing this for anywhere near this long if we didn't regularly have a laugh doing it.
Absolutely. Speaking of having a laugh, this next picture is one that I look at every single day because I have it printed and mounted in my office, and it's this one. This is a picture from 2016, as you can tell by the watermark on the picture. This was the last time that we were all together as this Storm Riders team before Matt Ripien went to Depot for the RCMP. So this is like March of 2016. And he left shortly after to go do his recruiting, or not his recruiting, his initial training, and then became an RCMP officer. And, you know, we've seen him every now and then, but we've very, very seldom played with him airsoft we've very seldom played airsoft with him again. So in this picture, it's the 2016 Storm Riders, which is you got Stefan, Jeremy, Chris, Miles, Jason, Pat, Mark, Phil, Patrick Short, Cal, and Shane on the right hand side. So we're all wearing Woodland except for Steph and Miles, who were pretty new and hadn't bought their Woodland at that time. They weren't like Miles wasn't super new, but he didn't have any Woodland pants at the time because this was really our first time all going out wearing Woodland. Like, changing from multicam to Woodland was a big deal for us at the time. Now we wear whatever we want because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, there was a point where we were concerned about sort of rocking the same aesthetic.
Yeah, looking the same and like all this kind of stuff.
We switched to Woodland because it wasn't multicam and too many people were wearing multicam, and we we're having like genuinely like, is that dude covered in multicam one of our dudes covered in multicam or not? Problems.
Fundamentally, it works better. The Woodland works better in Newfoundland just in general.
Oh yeah, totally. It's a much better camouflage, except for like the very beginning of spring and the very end of fall.
So we did a bunch of just regular pictures, and then we just decided, hey, let's do some silly ones, and so that's what we did.
So I am preparing to cannibalize Miles there.
Yeah,
delicious.
Miles is riding on Chris's shoulders. I don't know what Jason was doing. He was like on the ground. I am looking into the barrel of my seemingly loaded replica, which there was no ammunition, no battery or anything like that. Shane has his own para 249 pointed to his face. Cal's doing some sort of gang sign. And Patrick Short in the back. This was, I guess this would have been shortly prior to him hurting his leg.
Yeah, man. That was probably that season, like that summer.
Yeah, that later on that year. Yeah, and he's got like an FNC or something like that, which is a crazy heavy airsoft replica.
Oh my god.
And we've only seen it a few times, but it's
brutal to work on
awesome.
too. Like it's a cool replica. It looks wicked, but it weighs 1 million pounds and it's brutal to work on. There's no space inside that thing.
Yeah.
Wicked though.
So yeah, and so as I mentioned, like, this is one of my very favorite pictures. So I have this printed and I have it printed on canvas and mounted in my office, and I see it. It's right above my computer monitors. Like, if I just look my head up, it's literally right there, and so I see it every single day. And I think it just sort of encompasses for me what we've always been about, especially lately as a group. It's just everyone having fun, laughing, carrying on, just being silly, goofy, not taking ourselves too seriously.
It encapsulates that sort of like a funny balance too, because like this is the point at which we were probably the most serious about like working together as a team, matching camo.
Yeah.
Trying to keep like everyone rocking, Stanag mag guns and all that jazz. But it demonstrates that like, even at the sort of the height of us taking those things seriously, we were still intentionally and as often as possible goofy human beings.
Absolutely. This next picture is one of my very favorate pictures of Patrick.
Sorry, before you go,
go ahead.
Onto that, because I don't think I was wearing it in any of the other ones. This is me wearing my spray painted skate helmet as well.
Yes, that's a great point. I think I have one with your skate helmet later
cool.
on.
Well,
that's a really great point too.
Just
I'm wearing a skate helmet as well in this one. The ProTech, like we were just mirroring our kits. Chris, Miles, and Matt are all wearing the fast helmets that we now sort of rock, but painted instead
Yep.
of like with a helmet cover, they're just painted
And I
like
know I didn't ever run one of
woodland
those
colors.
because the replica ones don't fit my giant skull.
Yeah, you'd have to get a real extra large.
So
So
expensive.
this next one is my very, very favorite picture of Patrick, or one of them, which is this one. We made it into a shirt, and it's there's still stuff to discuss about this that we've axed, but I really love this picture. I think, I mean, I know that I took it. This is not why I like it, but I think it's just for me. It's like when I think about like peak Patrick replica, for better or for worse, like this is where my mind
Yep.
goes, right? Like it's the full stock M16 with the 203 with the really shitty ACOG. And in addition, you're
Totally
wearing like
though.
the old 6094, which you hated in the ditch. The M biter is still there.
Yep.
Yeah,
The
this is
pretty sure that I still have the broken.
the broken PTT.
Yeah, almost
I would
certainly,
not be
because
shocked.
it's not
Yeah,
like if you look there, it's hung over my shoulder. It's and like into the space between my arm and my kit. It's not on the vest in any way.
yeah, you ran that for way longer
Oh
than you
man,
should
like
have.
especially given how much I spent on like everything else in this
Mm-hmm.
picture. Um, yeah, man, like I still love the woodland. Like this is, this is definitely like the most like how Pat wants to be as an action hero in a movie kit I've ever run.
Yeah,
Like I'd probably swap out, to the chest rig for like decency and comfort and just it working better. But like, um, yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I was saying this to someone this weekend, Matt, I think. Like, if I could buy a a replica, I was sure that the HPA engine in my M27 would work in, like as well as it does in the M27. That was a full stock like M16A2 with the 203, like the sort of the Punisher,
mm-hmm.
Marvel comic look. I'd do that. Like I'd probably just switch to that and use that as my primary forever right now.
Yeah.
I don't, and like, it'd be heavy and chunky and clunky, and I'd probably want to have I'd want to be able to put the optic that I'm currently running on the rail on it. But other than that, like, I would love that.
A couple of things that jump out at me about this
Maybe
picture
just tuck
that
in
I
my
just wanted.
jacket.
Well, okay, fine. I
That's a
was going to say
recurring
it.
problem.
Um, where you're running a single point sling on that replica, which is bananas. And I would have done at the same time. I would have done the exact same thing that you
Oh,
did, and I was doing
we
that. Right?
absolutely thought that was the right thing to be doing at the time.
Yeah.
Was running the single point sling. I've got it wrapped around the bottom of the stock, or not the bottom, but the narrow point on the stock, because running it on the end sling point was absolutely terrible. And
Yeah.
I
There's
get,
nowhere else to run it.
yeah,
Right?
like I
Like
guess I'd
that's it.
never heard of a rail mounted sling point at this point.
Yeah, and we never gave it any other thought. We're like, no, it's single point. It's the only way to go. You drop it, you draw your secondary. Like that's it. And my viewpoint on slings has changed a whole lot since discovering 2 point slings, but also even in the last year, like when I play now, I unsling my replica completely. Right? I don't have it on a sling while I'm playing, like, and I'm engaged. I only put it on when I need to carry it or whatever. Like it's completely different. Ever since I saw Steve doing that at Iron Horse, I'm like, oh my god, that's the smartest thing I've ever seen. And I just started doing it and never looked back.
Yep.
It saves me so much time. So that's one thing. But the other thing is the Vickers tactical gloves that you're wearing. You wore those gloves for a very, very
This
long
is
time.
probably the second pair of them, because I know I went through two pairs. I'm like, honestly, still really comfortable, like really good for every function. I think pretty much the only reason I'm not still using them is that when the second pair wore out, I was like, well, these are $80 gloves, and they don't do a whole lot that a pair of $20 mechanics won't do.
Exactly. Yeah.
And like the couple of things they do better are things that like if I was doing military stuff for a living, I might care enough about, because I know they're more heat resistant than the ones I'm wearing, which are not heat resistant at all. And
Hmm.
like they were more comfortable, but like they weren't $80 more comfortable,
Exactly. And
right?
they're like cut resistant and they're like
Um,
cowhide leather and all this kind of stuff, which is all great.
yeah, they're
But
fantastic.
for
Like
our purposes, I
if
mean,
you need a pair
yeah,
of like good gloves for like, you know, sort of mil spec or like range purposes, I genuinely think they're fantastic. I don't.
yeah.
You know, like they were way more gloves than I needed, but
Yeah, for sure.
um,
And you went through two pairs before realizing, hey, you know what? Maybe I could spend $80 somewhere
totally.
else,
But I
right?
also like I use them hiking and stuff too. So like you know,
Oh, for
I don't
sure.
feel like they
Yeah,
owed me anything. I just feel like I got less willing to spend $80 on a pair of gloves.
definitely. All right. Do you remember
Oh, that's
this
sick.
one?
Yes.
So,
Um,
in this picture, it's a picture of Pat, Steph, and myself. Even though he's got his face covered up, I can tell you it's Stefan, Chris, and Cal.
you know, I always tell it's
And
Steph by the welding boots,
well,
steel
yes, there's
toed.
that too. That's a good point. And we're basically just standing sort of, online, just abreast, basically, in front of like some rusted oil tanks and like an open field and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah. So this
Pat, do you remember
is
the context
yeah.
of
So
this?
this is an awesome day for two reasons. We are out at the talc mine in
Hmm.
CBS, Conception Bay South. For those of you who are not from here and might want to look it up, it's a neat spot. Um, we are there. We were not doing any shooting this day, because obviously, you know, we were guests at a working mine, but we were there for a photo shoot with a local cosplayer and a cosplayer who was visiting for Sci-Fi on the Rock.
Hmm.
Um, Logan had just come out, and so one of the cosplayers has a fantastic like old man Logan Wolverine cosplay, and we were
Hmm.
at Sci-Fi, and a kid had done a wicked like little kid X-23. And so there's a photo shoot of them basically just using us as the like faceless baddies uh, of uh, of Marvel fame and just murking us all day, and it's wicked. It was so much
Yeah,
fun.
we did. We shot a bunch of B-roll as well of us just like moving and using the cover at this mine, and like, and I've used it in several of our videos
And
before because
it,
it's so picturesque.
it's
There's some really
such
cool
a cool
pictures of
venue.
us.
Like
Yeah,
it has wicked like, you know, post-apoc like just you know, ruins vibes, which I mean also Redcliffe does, but it's such a different visual than Redcliffe, so it stands out really well amongst the millions of photos we have from there.
yeah. And as a side note, I've reached out to them to see if they would be open to like renting out the mine for an event and stuff, but they don't have any appetite for that, which makes total sense.
I'd
But
I'd
regardless, yeah,
love
we
to
had
go
a
do
really
photos
good.
there again. Even like that would be super cool.
Yeah, for something
Now
like
that I'm
that, it would be
seeing this and
different.
thinking about it,
Yeah.
yeah. So this
A couple of
is
things
oh yeah,
that stand out. So for me, I'm using the Mark 18.
yep.
So this is a King Arms Mark 18, which is my return to King Arms after all the fiascos with the GNP.
That was a great little
You're
guy.
using some sort of King Arms as well with a crane stock and that suppressor and that Elcan Spectre
Yeah, so that is the King Arms that we tried to
4X.
put your HPA engine in with not a lot of success, but that
Hmm.
did really really well for me as an AEG. Um, yeah, so this is King Arms M4 with a 11-inch rail and a suppressor at the end of it that's hiding a longer barrel. So again, this is still me running a DMR length rifle. Really, I guess the M4 monstrosity,
Hmm.
M4 with an M16 full stock, is one of the only two like short M4 replicas that I've run. Like my stupidity with tiny guns. So in between this and that M4, I also had a Mark 18 for a while, and I hated it.
Yeah.
And it's really just like a ergonomics thing. Like it's a short little gun, and I'm a big long noodly thing. So this is definitely my favorite AEG I ever ran in terms of like mechanical efficacy. Like that thing was spot
Spot on.
on.
Yeah.
I've
And this was, for context, this is 2017. It's like the end of May of 2017.
Yep, I've got an
And
Elcan Spectre on it there.
you do, and you also have your chest rig.
Yep.
So this is one where you're using your first not split front chest rig. So whatever you would have been using
No,
before
that's the
then.
current one.
Oh, is that right? I thought you had a split
Nope.
front.
No, I intentionally didn't buy the split front, which I now sort of regret because the split front one's actually better for most of my purposes. But like for the $250 it would cost to switch, I'm not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I like it a lot. It does everything I want it to anyway. I do not have a lot of stuff on it, so this is very recent. Like I had it very recently here, I would think,
Yeah.
because I just have 6 mags and like basically nothing else on it. I've put more stuff on it since because I can carry it, so why not?
Yeah. The other thing that stands out to me in this picture is we're all wearing like the true spec BDUs, which was like our standard, except I had ordered the wrong true spec trousers. So you are all wearing like the TRU like assault trousers that have those like slanted pockets, and I just have like a regular fatigue. And so you can see the color difference. Like all of our tops match, all of your bottoms match, but
Yep.
mine stand out as like are different. And you can see they have like the straight pocket across instead of like the curved or like angled pockets like their assault version had. And I kicked myself for so long, and I eventually got the better ones. And of course, now we're on like different stuff, and we don't care as much. But yeah.
Yep. But yeah,
So
that was a good kit. Still
for
wearing
this
still wearing
next
that awful
skate
skate
helmet,
helmet. And like, to be
yeah,
clear, like I'm not hating on that for people who aren't me and don't have a giant dome. Like it just looks ridiculous pushed on top of my head. And like it's the right
yeah.
size, it fits. It's just silly.
So this next one, we're going to fast forward 5 years. So this is 2017. This one is 2022. So this is 3 years ago. And so this is us at the frontline field in front of the airplane fuselage. And on the back row, you have Mark, Matt Davis, Patrick, and then in front you have Josh, myself, and then Johnny.
Yep.
And so this was one of the earlier photos with Josh and Matt in the photo as as Storm Riders members, because they had joined the team not too long. Matt was the most recent to join, and Mark was actually out for a random day of airsoft. He messaged and said, "Hey, I want to come out for a game, see what it's like." And so we're like, "Yeah, absolutely." So he's wearing my old JPC, my old Shima. I don't know whose replica that is. I can't really remember if it's my old replica, or I can't remember what we had done there. I think
at this point, that's John's M4.
Yes, you're right. That is John's M4. You're absolutely correct. Yeah. And then you're using a short carbine compared to...
That is actually my current rifle.
Minus the extended front or whatever.
So I don't have the suppressor on it, which I sometimes have. But right. that is the M27 with the Kythera in it, because you can see just under my arm the
the little hose, yeah. And the LPVO.
So that is basically what I'm currently running, except I have a fusion engine in it now because I'm a madman. And I have a 203 on it, and it's painted. But yeah, that is pretty dang close to what I'm currently running.
And then for me, I'm using, this is the last AEG that I ran before we moved to Kythera.
Yep.
And I have the SRS sight, which I've replaced now since with the aim point, not the aim point, excuse me, the Hollow Sun. And on the very front of it, you can see I've got the run cam that I had bought, and I've used precisely twice, and it was garbage both times. And honestly, it's in a bin somewhere, and I really can't be arsed to try and figure out what needs to happen, if anything needs to happen. And honestly, it's just dead to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think the answer is just that it didn't do what you wanted it to.
Yeah. And then I've also got a dangler on my front here, which is kind of hard to see, but it's a M90 dangler that was made by Mick Gear, who's one of the Discord. I don't know if he's still in the Discord community, but he was in the Discord community for a while, and he custom made that for me, which I was super, super thrilled.
Yeah.
Thrilled about. And then we got Johnny with his AK Crink and Chicom in a full squat position.
Dubious mustache.
On the right hand side. With a dubious mustache. Yeah, that was definitely a period in time for him as well.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, this is 2022. So
very recent.
Some of the, like, I mean, it's not super recent, but I mean, yeah, it's
I mean,
pretty
it's funny
recent,
because it feels like last week. Um, you know,
doesn't it? Though, right?
but like, yeah, I love all the stuff that we're rocking here. Honestly,
Yeah,
that is definitely one of the bushier iterations of my beard too.
yeah. Your beard was huge,
Very,
huge, 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 and you're wearing like a an olive, not an olive drab, excuse me, a woodland M83 woodland ME1 woodland rain cover. I think that is, if I'm not mistaken, like a parka or
it's
something.
it's like a denizen, like that has a tail.
Oh, does
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I got that from John because he ordered it, and like obviously it did not fit him if it's fitting me.
Hmm.
Like God. Um, yeah, running that, still running these actually the multicam, just slim form mechanics because they were $20 and they haven't broken yet. Um, you know, Still running the ESS land ops, but this is after LASIK, so this is me getting pretty close to being like I need something that is not enormous goggles now that I don't need enormous goggles.
Yeah, legit. And I was using the ESS Advancer V12 still in this picture for my iPro, and very shortly they would be gone. This is also the first season that we were like scrimming the helmets. John had helped me with that,
Yeah,
and then understanding that that's
I
an
mean it
effective
works really well.
concealment
Yeah,
tool.
that's me wearing a ball cap. I think I've more or less. I don't think it's the one I currently own. I think it's the one that like uh, got too grody to be salvageable.
Yeah, it might be the same one as you're wearing in this picture,
Yep.
if I'm not mistaken. So this one is from 2020. This was October 2020. So very shortly after like most of the COVID
Yeah. So
panic has kind of died down,
yeah, we're
and
allowed outside again.
we're slowly allowed to go back to the airsoft field and all this kind of stuff. So this would be, one of the first times that we were all back, at least the four of us, because I'm the one taking the picture in this picture. The four of us are back together at the airsoft field, right?
Yeah. So I like what I've gotten done with the chest rig better now, but that is what I was running up until this winter, pretty much.
Hmm.
Um, in terms of like layout, that is the sort of Block 2 AEG that I was using as well. Also,
Yep,
again,
that's still before
yeah,
HPA.
again
Yeah.
rocking the DMR kind of thing. So that should have the LK inspector on it still. Still running the ESS, still post LASIK. Definitely the shapeless, brutalized hat. Running the my Shima from when I started playing airsoft still, because this is before I got the Delta mic and actually had something sensible to protect my bloody teeth.
Yeah, this is the through line is the
Oh
Shima.
my god!
I wanted to call attention to John more in this picture
Oh,
because
he's
I think
rocking.
if you look at John, he's got his FNFAL. I know what it is because I mean it's hard to see the profile, but it's his FNFAL. And it's like his Falkland Islands kind of farb kit. He's got the DPM, he's got the webbing gear,
Yeah,
he's got his helmet, which is an pretty sure it's a M1 pot, just scrimmed up with all kinds of crazy stuff, and he's wearing Shadow Tactical Cry Cut trousers.
yep,
So
yep,
it's a little
yep.
bit all over the place, but
Wicked. I
again,
actually love that.
dubious
I actually love
mustache.
that look. Like,
Yeah, and around his neck, it's a like some sort of like parachuter scrim or something like that from his World War II kit. Um,
yep,
so yeah,
that's
it's
great though. I like
yeah,
honestly. I
and
also like Cal's kit here too. Like the
yeah, Cal's kit is like so he's got I don't know what the camo is that
so,
he's wearing up there. I don't know if is that stretch turn? Is that what they call it? I don't know. Anyways,
like. I think it's bizarre Russian smock.
yeah.
Like,
Anyways, he's wearing the same pants that are same trousers from the Wolverine shoot. Those TRU tactical pants or whatever.
yep,
He's got the chest rig with his like his triple 10 speed, etc. And he's just wearing a ball cap with his influencing activities Canadian Army patch on the top, like his Canadian Army IR flag, like all this kind of stuff. So very similar. Like Cal could show up tomorrow at Airsoft playing wearing this kit,
oh yeah, totally.
right?
Like
Like that's still very
100%.
much in line with what he would be wearing today for sure.
So much fun.
Um, all right, I think we have time for maybe a few
Sure,
more.
I'm game.
All right, so this next one, um, Do you remember the context of
Yeah,
this?
so that is our like we decided we were gonna have sort of a formal Christmas party. That is
Yeah.
at Mark's parents' place
Yep.
because they were kind enough to let a pile of yokels wander through. So everyone's wearing a suit, or almost everyone. We all
Yep.
got a tie on, super formal, super handsome. Love it.
Yeah. So we, at the time, we were very much like, hey, we're a sports team, right? So when we looked at some of the people on the team, you look at like Mark and you look at like Matt Ripien or Patrick Short, like these are guys, or Jason Fong, like these are guys who grew up going to school playing in like team sports, like hockey, for example. And so for them, like, oh, you're a sports team, like you do this kind of stuff. And we're like, okay, well, we're not any different than that. We're going to do a formal Christmas party. We're going to wear suits. We're going to go with our spouses, girlfriends, whomever at the time, and have, eat some food, drink way too much, and just sort of have a Christmas dinner. And so
Yeah, it was fantastic
this is
times.
really
Like,
but this is a snapshot into our sort of like mindset when in this picture I would have just turned 30, or very in the last like couple of weeks. Pat's probably not even 30 yet because your birthday's on December 22nd,
yeah, it's
so
probably
this was,
the week before.
yeah, so a week before, the week before that maybe. So like everyone in this picture is 30 years or younger, and so our mindset is that's where we are. We're like, oh, we're a sports team, this is what we do, like taking the team aspect like really seriously, and then executing this, which looking back on it, it's like, who did we think we were, man, oh man. Like, but on the flip side, it still was really fun, and it was really all about the atmosphere that we had with our team. Like, we support each other, we're friends, like we carry on outside of airsoft, like our spouses are important to us as a community of people.
Yeah,
And it was just really good time, and like Mark's parents were like super supportive and super nice, so like it was just a really good time.
yeah, no, like it
um
was. This is this was a really fun, just super good evening.
it's not something that we would ever do in this format ever
Yeah,
again.
yeah. I mean,
Like, I think the next year we tried to do it, but it was still like it was a little bit less formal. And after a while, we were like, okay, guys, like, who are we kidding
yeah,
or whatever?
Christmas party.
We'll still do gatherings and
Yeah,
stuff, but
Christmas
yeah,
party, totally suits.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, but yeah, it's so funny too because there's this real paradigm I find with airsoft in general, where the people you play airsoft with, like, how often do you see them not in their airsoft clothes?
Yeah,
Right? Like Pat and I aside, because we're friends and we've been friends for a very, very long time. But like, there are people who like, I mean, I really like Stefan.
it's
Right?
fantastic.
I'm very close to Stefan. Stefan was at my wedding, but I have seen him in his airsoft clothes like way, 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 way more than I've ever seen him in just a regular shirt and like t-shirt and pants.
Totally. I mean,
Right?
like, less so with like our teammates, but I regularly run into people from airsoft, like just at the grocery store or whatever. It's like, hey, Pat, I'm like, oh hey, what's up? It
Yeah, that
takes a
happened to me
second.
last night, actually. Yeah, for sure. I was at a convenience store and some guy was like, "Oh, I didn't recognize you that time," and I was like, "Oh yeah, cool, man. How are you?" And in my mind, I'm like, "Oh my god, who is this? Who is this?" And I was like, "Oh, airsoft, right? Okay, got it."
Yep,
Right?
absolutely.
Yeah. So this is a snapshot, and I think maybe we'll have time for let's see. Do we have time
Shane
for
looks
one
so
last
impressed by
one?
the unimpressed by the way. Like he is so not into the tie piece.
Yeah.
Like, it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
Shane, yeah,
not
it's
his
not
vibe.
really. Yeah. Um, I think the last one that we can see, maybe we'll look at this one. So in this picture is from 2018. So if you remember Matt Ripien, who's the guy.
Yeah,
So in this picture there are 7 Storm Riders, all doing silly stuff, kind of like the silly one from before. Um, and so you've got Cal, Johnny, Kirby, Pat, myself, Matt Ripien on the right, and Chris on Matt Ripien's shoulders. And so Matt Ripien was back from depot at RCMP. He had completed his program. He was graduating, and he was basically heading out to his first deployment with the RCMP.
yeah.
So he came home, and we decided, hey, let's go play airsoft. And we did a bunch of other things too, but we were going to play airsoft. And so we were like, okay, well, let's recreate that picture. Let's do a silly picture. And so this is what we ended up doing. Kirby was newer to the team. He joined, I can't remember if it was that year or the year previous. John had joined the team officially as well. So you can see he's wearing his like more modern kit. He's wearing his M81.
So this is that period of John putting up with a modern kit for the sake of us, really more so than because he loved it. But like, hey,
Yeah, absolutely. And
wicked.
just us, just again having a good time. And again, I really like this picture. I think in this, I think we're this is the fall. If I remember correctly,
Oh
I
yeah,
think it
definitely.
was October or something. So you can see the fall colors. It's a bit colder. Pat's wearing his like his I guess toque
Yeah, my
instead, or stocking cap, you guys might call it elsewhere on the land, but it's a toque, and his ear pro on top of the toque, right? Still with the M81. I think we were like, hey, we're all going out. We should be matchy matchy,
yeah,
right?
definitely. That was the vibe. It was like, let's let's all do rock that for today, kind of thing. Cal and John are lying on top of one another.
Yes, they are intertwined, as it were.
uh,
um, but yeah, so really good times.
yeah,
There's so many other pictures that we could go through. Again, as I mentioned,
I mean, we have the luxury of having a lot of photos because we've got you and Jason both on the team.
yeah, and I think over the years, like, and we've also just had random people take airsoft pictures and just send them through, or like I've saved them, and I very seldom delete anything, right? So I have just like drives and drives, and I just need to like dig and dig to find stuff. But there is stuff in there from my very first airsoft game in 2006
Wicked.
that I can occasionally pull out and have a look at. Pictures that would have been taken by Dougal, who doesn't mean anything to any of you guys, but it means something to Patrick. So that places it in time for him. Like, there's a lot, and I think for many of you listening, like, hopefully you will also be able to look back on some of the airsoft memories that you've had over the years, either by pictures that you've taken, pictures that other people have taken of you, or indeed, if you've been part of our community, like being able to go back and look at maybe episodes that we've recorded together, events that we've played together. Like if you think about Matt, for example, or Alexis coming on the podcast and talking, like those are moments that you can look back to and, think about where was your mindset? Because the exercise behind all of that, I think, and why I wanted to do this with Pat is, again, it's not to get Pat, because I don't think I got him in any particular way, except for maybe one or two pictures. But like, it's being able to talk about like what was our mindset and how has that evolved over time, and where we are. Even in that last picture that we're just looking at, you can see we're all using 2 point slings, right? Except for me, I'm not using one, right? And why? Well, because it's this time it's like, no, I'm not in it, and then very shortly I would switch over, right? It allows you to think about and remind yourself too, I think, that whatever you think about airsoft today might not be what you think about airsoft tomorrow or
Yeah, I
next
mean,
year.
like, I like my kit right now. I think it's really good, but I legitimately liked most of those and thought they were really good. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
like, and like at the same time, I ran the 6094 mostly because everyone else on the team was running one, and like the matching gear phase of airsoft for us.
Yeah.
Um, but like there's lessons there, and just lots of good times is definitely the primary outcome there, right?
I want to just come back quickly because you just said something that's so true. And when I think about this, like, if you asked me at any point in my history playing airsoft, hey, the kit that you're wearing, is that the best possible kit? I would have said yes at every single point. Not anymore, right? Like, now I have enough sort of experience looking back, but also enough people to talk to go, well, it works for me. My answer today would be like, it works for me right now. I don't know if there's something better. There might be. I just, for me right now, this is what's working. If something better comes along, I'll start using that. But
Yeah, I mean,
2017 me or 2019 me would have been like, yes, this is the
yeah,
best.
well, I mean, it's if that changed from like believing really firmly that we know what the best option is to being a lot more aware that like, yeah, I like this right now, it's working right now, but also that going, yeah, this is definitely the best, is there's some hubris there. There's also a lot of like use case personal opinion, right? Like, I mean, if we just look at the 694, right, like that was a bad vest for me because it didn't come in my size.
Yeah,
Right.
really.
I mean, like the real one probably does, but like we were using repro ones, and they just yeah, um, you
And
know,
not even bad repro ones, by the way. Like they were totally
oh
fine,
man, like
but just
yeah, no, I
not four
like
pack,
I have
right?
zero
Yeah.
issues with the quality of the vest. Just the fit of the vest was terrible, right? You know, so it's yeah. I think we've learned that that our gear should be subjected to sort of ongoing scrutiny, and also not necessarily to assume that we know everything, right? Like an awareness that there are a lot of places where, like, I mean, we know a fair bit, but we could also know more.
Yeah. I think the last sort of takeaway for me is what matters more than anything. We sort of talked about it throughout. What matters more than anything, all these pictures, is the people and the memories that you create
Yeah, man.
by doing this. Like playing airsoft is supposed to be fun, and building nothing is more fun, in my opinion. Nothing is more fun than building meaningful relationships with people. To know that when we play airsoft, or even off the airsoft field, like if I need something, if I really need something, these guys are going to be there for me in whatever capacity they can be, right? And just as an easy example of that, like if I'm organizing an airsoft event, everyone's like, hey, what do you need?
Yep.
Right? If someone's moving house, people are like, hey, what do you need? Like Kirby recently moved house, and people are like, all right, what do you need?
Totally.
Right? I don't move furniture anymore because I'm 40 and that's dangerous. But
We old.
like the reality is, like, I'll bring pizza or beer or whatever, right? And that is a huge, that camaraderie that you build over the years with people who have similar interests is so meaningful and important. And being able to look back on these pictures and seeing us being silly, or seeing you smiling or me smiling, or being able to remind myself like where I was, like that's what this is all about at the end of the
I
day.
mean, like the awesome thing about this is, you know, like we have a team, and like the, you know, like we just looked at the sort of, you know, sports team Christmas photo, and it's like, yeah, that is not what we're about at this point. I think it was very like it's a very much a snapshot of like, right at this point we were very briefly very about this, um, but like, you know, a bunch of those people were at your wedding, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, these are our friends, and like really we probably wouldn't still be playing airsoft, you know, like you know, at the end of the day, one of the things that defines a quality day of airsoft for us is like, oh, 5 or 6 of that photo of, you know, those photos of like, you know, 14, 15, 20, I think probably total people, like, yeah, oh, 6 of us are going, yeah, hell yes, I will absolutely do that, right?
Yeah, exactly right.
Like that's, you know, going and pew pewing is really really fun. Like the Plasto Blasto is great, but like doing it with people who just you enjoy when you're playing airsoft when you're playing yourself in the rain, when you're getting shot in the nose with a 500 FPS, you know, giant revolver, and are laughing about it, you know, later that day, right? Like that is what
Mm-hmm.
airsoft is to both of us, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this sort of like visual discussion trip down memory lane. If you did enjoy it, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the Discord if you'd like to see us do more of it. Maybe different themes of photos to look through. Really, there's the sky's the limit. But until then, that's all we've got for you this week. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Talk to you again soon.